So we're going to do our pumpkin carving splatter and run, because this layout here has a very big splatter up at the top, and then I have it running all the way down the page. You can't see behind it as much just because it's not, all the pictures are covering it up, but it still has a great effect. This is a great way to use your gilding polish and kind of do something fun with your layout. So on the layout, it has the different patterns. I actually chose to use all white pattern papers just to do this one. And I have quite a few different colors I'm using. I'm using lavender blue opal, pink thistle opal, purple paradise, and also blue allure. I've got my water with my dropper. I've got my different fan brushes, and then also my palette. So we're going to start by mixing these up. So let's remove this page. And then I have both of them, but I'm only going to demo one. So you should have your left and your right all ready to go when you start to do this. And we're going to start by taking the gilding polish, getting a little bit in it with our palette knife, which I have seemed to lost. Let me grab a different one. Here's my palette knife. Get a little bit in there, about the size of a dime. I'm going to do that to every single one. And you can always have like a napkin next to you to clean off these tools so that you don't have to run to the sink every single time. And then I've got lavender blue. And a lot of these are pretty chunky. I definitely need to add water to them before I seal them all back up. And that's something you should do every single time depending on your polish. The only ones you don't need to do that to is chalk. So I'm going to do that right now before I forget. So I'm going to add a dauber of water. And then seal them up nice and tight. This one I'm going to add 2. This one definitely needs 2. And then when I go to use it next time, it'll come back to life and it won't be so hard to mix. This one looks pretty good, but since we opened it, I'm going to add a little bit. Should be the consistency of sour cream. That's the rules. So now inside my palette, I'm going to mix 2 drops of water with each one. Oh, that's the husband. He's down there changing cast iron pipes today. So grab your palette or your fan brush and mix it up really good. Now you need more for this than usual because we're making a big puddle. So make sure you feel like you have enough before you start doing these. All right, that looks beautiful. Let's do the next one. I'm going to use my purple again. Get rid of all those chunks by flattening it out with the fan brush. Okay, there we go. Let's do the blue one. These are pretty chunky. But as long as you work with them, they will come back to life and do what we need to do. This one needs more water. So just adding a little bit more water so that I get it to run, because if it's too thick, it's not gonna run. And then that really defeats the look that I'm going for. This one's chunky. Let's add a little bit more water. And that should be good. I don't mind having some of the chunks on the page just because that's really kind of the look of it, is that runny paint. Okay, so now that I have that, let's clean up this and start working with our page. So I'm doing the left-hand side right now. I'm gonna stand up, and my first color is that light lavender. So that's what I'm gonna start with. And I'm gonna put a nice big chunky puddle right at the top of it so that I get it to run. And that looks pretty good. I think that's plenty, probably more than I need. And then you're gonna pick up your page, and you can see it's already starting to run, and you're just gonna tap until you get it to come all the way down, just like that. And now we're gonna do that with the darker purple. And same thing, pick up the page and get it to run all the way down. And as you do that, it makes the others run too. So let's clean this up. And we're going to do the dark blue. And I'm shoveling it out with my fan brush. Pick it up. And there we go. Wipe it off. And now we're going to start with the light blue. Lots going on at the nail house today, let me tell you. Oh, careful. And that's it, guys. That is how you do that kind of technique. And then again, this is something that you have to let sit and dry. So that's what I'll do. I'll let it dry before I start the next part of finishing the layout.